Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Safety Showcase, Reimagining Gender and Technology event. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name's Alexandra Robinson. I'm the Gender-Based Violence Technical Advisor here in our headquarters with UNFPA. I'm really thrilled to be here today with such amazing colleagues, partners, and truly fantastic organisations to share this event with. I'm also thrilled to have with us today Dr. Anna Cody, Australia's Sex Discrimination Commissioner, and Dr. Julia Bunting, who's online, who is our Program Division Director for UNFPA. With that, Julia, I will pass over to you to officially open our event.
Thanks, Alex, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, esteemed colleagues, guests, friends, and partners. I'm thrilled to be here today, joining you remotely from UNFPA's Programme Division's new home in Nairobi, where I relocated just yesterday, to join you to introduce the Safety Showcase Reimagining Gender in Technology on behalf of UNFPA and our partners, the United Kingdom's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, the New Moon Fund, and with the support of Australia's E-Safety Commissioner. We thank you as our partners for your commitment to and collaboration with us to showcase technology which places gender at the centre of its design. I would also like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank all those organisations who have been part of the Safety Showcase journey with us, including all those who applied in response to the open call for tech products. The number of applications was overwhelming and very much speaks to the emerging movements to promote and use feminist technology. And of course, I want to thank those of you joining us in person in New York and online from around the world at all times of day and night, as we come together to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action. During this critical 69th Commission on the Status of Women, we're honoured that you chose to spend time at this event. It was 1 year ago today that we gathered at our previous event, Collective Action to Address Technology, and announced the launch of the Safety Showcase Reimagine Gender in Technology programme. Technology-facilitated gender-based violence, or TFGBV, is proliferating at a rapidly increasing rate, affecting the lives of women and girls in all parts of the world. Nearly 4 in 10 women on the internet have personally been affected by violence online, and almost 9 in 10 women have witnessed online violence against another woman. Technology, whether built with good intentions or not, can expose women to risk of TFGBV if safety, security, and privacy by design are not embedded. UNFPA has spearheaded, in partnership with the UK New Moon Fund and the support of the Australian E-Safety Commissioner, this Safety Showcase programme to demonstrate that technology that places gender at the centre is a key pathway to mitigating TFGBV. Rethinking how we develop technology with gender at the centre of ideation, design and development processes, and with safety, security and privacy as fundamental design principles, allows for greater diversity of voices, ideas and solutions, not only across the technology spectrum, but throughout our daily lives. Placing gender at the centre ensures that technology is designed not only to bring opportunities and joy to women in all their diversity, but is built in such a way that it serves to mitigate the potential for harm, including TFGBV. This Safety Showcase programme sought out technologies that demonstrate the promise of and the foundations of the internet and connection technologies. Technology that unites us, that allows us to express our creativity, to pursue education, to have autonomy in our careers, and to serve as a platform for our leadership without fear of harm. Today, we're delighted to introduce you to the individuals and organisations who have put into action a vision of technology that places gender at its core. A vision that shows all of us that a different experience of technology is not only possible, but is achievable and available. This work and the visibility of this work is vital, now more than ever. We are at a moment where technology is a feature of every part of our lives, from the governance of our countries, to personal decisions around healthcare, from seeking education to increasing access to social networks. When these technologies can also enable harm, the voices, creativity, innovation, and leadership of women in all their diversity around the world will subside. We hope that today we can celebrate opportunity. The Safety Showcase unearthed a realm of opportunity across this community of feminist technologists, incubators, and co-creators. Common demand for gender-centered tech products that mitigate harm and investment in these products to take them to scale has the power to transform the lives of millions of women and girls around the world. Thank you again to all of you who've joined us today for your passion, your commitment, and your dedication to gender-centered technology and its role in mitigating the risks of technology-facilitated GBV. I'm sorry that I'm not able to stay with you during the course of this whole discussion, but I wish you well, look forward to hearing the deliberations. And Alex, I hand the floor back to you.
Thank you so much, Julia, and for joining us so soon after you've relocated. We really appreciate your time. I will now turn to Dr. Anna Cody, Australia's Sex Discrimination Commissioner. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you very much, and it's absolutely an honour to be here and really a pleasure to hear a little bit more about some of the exciting and innovative work that you each are doing. I am really thrilled to be a part of this on behalf of the eSafety Commissioner and Commission Julie Inman-Grant. And as we've just heard from Dr. Julia Bunting, we recognise how big a problem this is, with almost 90% of women reporting witnessing online harassment and a third reporting being having an experience of actually being directly targeted by it. And we know that those numbers are even higher for those who are in the public eye. So that's for politicians, for human rights defenders, journalists, public personalities. And that then acts as a disincentive to anyone who might think about going into the public eye and into public life. And we know how desperately we need women and all people to be able to step up into those positions of authority. And if they fear the attacks on them because of their gender or their gender identity, then that acts as a disincentive. So many of you will be familiar with the important work that the eSafety Commission does in Australia, and particularly of Julie Inman-Grant, Australia's eSafety Commissioner. And that's Australia's government regulatory agency, which is committed to keeping people safer online. eSafety is a world leader in online safety regulation, and it works to safeguard people at risk from online harms and also to promote safer, more positive online experiences. Its regulatory approach has three pillars, and that is prevention, protection, and proactive and systemic change. And these activities include eSafety's adult cyber abuse and image-based abuse complaint schemes, and that allows victim survivors to report incidents directly for eSafety to then take action. We know that addressing technology-facilitated gender-based violence, or TFGBV, is a priority, and certainly a priority within Australia. We also include it within our national strategy to achieve gender equality and Australia's national plan to end violence against women and children. Safe technology is critical. Australia has long been a vocal advocate for safety by design, which we were hearing about a little earlier from Alex. That needs to be part of a cultural shift to address TFGBV. We know that safety by design encourages technology companies to alter their design ethos from moving fast and breaking things and profit at all costs to instead embed user protections from early design phases onwards, and to be responsible and accountable for online safety. Access to technology benefits women and girls as well as other vulnerable minority groups, such as young people, culturally, racially marginalised communities, and LGBTQI+ communities. For many women, having an online presence is a necessity for connectivity, for community, and for economic empowerment. With so much of our lives conducted online, it's no longer realistic to frame online violence as not real or to suggest that women and girls just log off. And we know that technology facilitated gender-based violence has risks. It can, and it does, exacerbate the gender digital divide. Without equal access to safe, accessible, and affordable technologies, women and girls around the world face barriers to accessing education, health information, and social services. Also, to enjoying their human rights and fully participating and taking advantage of an increasingly digital world. I'm very proud of the collaboration across our organisations between UNFPA, FCDO, and the Newman Fund. And with Australia's support, we're working together to tackle some of that tech-facilitated gender-based violence, recognising the problem that it is, and one in which those in the global majority or global south are most vulnerable. Technology cuts across borders, as does abuse, and so we need to build solutions that are global also. I'm really excited to hear from you, individuals and organisations that are making a positive change. We know that no single organisation or tech product can solve the problems of violent misogyny online. It takes changes in data, in research, careers, policies, leadership, and also laws. So I'm glad to be here today for this first iteration of the Safety Showcase, sharing the great work of you as innovators and entrepreneurs. And I look forward to future iterations, including identifying and celebrating some of the needed law that we need to drive change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna and Julia. I just want a couple of housekeeping things. One is, if anyone does not want their photo taken, please do let us know. Rams at the back here has a camera. Please let her know so we can make sure not to take photos of you or delete them if they've already been taken. Bathrooms are here. We know the event runs for a few hours, so you may need to take breaks. There is food, tea and coffee out there, so please help yourself on a rolling basis. It's here for the morning. Just before I start with the first panel, I really wanted to put this program, the Safety Showcase, Reimagining Gender and Technology, in context of our broader work around tech-facilitated gender-based violence. So we came to this work only 4.5 years ago, and we're really working off the back of an incredible wealth of movement building and work that CSOs have been doing in this space for decades. And so I really do feel like we stand on the shoulders of giants, and it's a great privilege for UNFPA to be working with so many CSOs in this space. We started researching TFGBV really to try and help our country officers, and we program in over 150 countries, to help those country officers understand what the issue was, how we needed to empower our frontline service providers with the skills and tools to be able to support every woman everywhere. And we realized during that process that we really needed safe tech to ensure that both intentional and unintentional harms caused by technology to women and girls was mitigated. And as a result of that, we authored the guidance on safe and ethical use of technology to address GBV and harmful practices. So we had the guidance, and then we thought, well, what are we going to do with this guidance? It's a really great tool, it's a really great document, but what does that mean? And in all of our work bringing together gender-based violence and feminist movements and digital rights and tech movements, we realized we need to find an interface. And so the Safety Showcase, Reimagining Gender and Technology program was born. So this is an incredibly unique space for us, because we're bringing together feminist gender-based violence movements together with the digital rights movements and technologists who sit at the heart of this. It's an enormous privilege for us to be able to do this, and I think we really hope that this program is a program that builds a seed to start to break the status quo of move fast and break things. Let's go slow and be safe, and provide a space where women and girls can enjoy technology to its fullest. As Julia mentioned before, we had the open call for the Safety Showcase. It was open for 2 weeks. We received over 103 applications in those 2 weeks. That really speaks to the incredible depth, breadth, creativity and commitment of an enormous community of feminist technologists. And I really want to acknowledge that. Lulu from Newman Fund will talk later, but most of these technologists are working with very little resources or from their own resources. And I think that that's a really important thing to acknowledge here. And often, sometimes they're at risk of their own personal harm. We know that, in particularly in the current space, activists are at significant risk of TFGBV. And so putting in place the digital security mechanisms for themselves and their organizations is crucial. And I think when we're working and we're creating alternatives to tech, or the importance or the investment in digital security can't be understated. So, to say this work is being led by the most remarkable group of people I've had the privilege to meet. I am completely struck by their tenacity, flexibility, and commitment to the issue of centering gender and technology. And I really look forward to hearing more about the products that we worked with today. I will now turn to Hera Hussein, who's online with us. Hera is the founder and CEO of Chen, which is a global not-for-profit that creates resources on the web to address gender-based violence and TFGBV in particular. Hera will be our online moderator for the next panel. And Hera, I now turn over to you.
Thank you so much. It is such a great pleasure to be here online with everybody who's joined us. Is more than 70 people, and the people that are there in person. It is a great moment to celebrate the fact that in just 2 weeks that the applications were open, we had more than 100 applications. And as someone who's been working in this space for 12 years now, I just feel like I feel like this is a moment that we need to absolutely celebrate, because a few years ago it would not have been that. And also, having read through the applications, and we're all about to hear from them, you can see just how much thought and care has gone into it, and they're not just ideas that have come about during a weekend hackathon. They are things that people have been working on. So I'm really pleased to as part of the ecosystem, to actually be in this place to see these amazing ideas. So a great moment for all of us to celebrate. And also just to say that I think it's a great signal to everybody in this space, whether it's survivors, allies, CSOs, funders, policymakers, technologists, everybody, that this signals a shifting of power, that nonprofits and survivors aren't just consuming tech, they're also creating it, and that the future of AI doesn't need to be written only by the hands in Silicon Valley, though they will remain powerful. We can do that too. So really excited to invite our first speaker, and we are going to continue. So for that great presentation, and us meeting Zuzi AI, we're now going to travel 10,000 kilometers from South Africa to Indonesia. So I'm going to invite Agita Pasaribu from Bullyid app to share how their project has already provided legal and mental health support for TFGBV to more than 2 million people in Indonesia and across the diaspora. So let's hear from Bullyid.
Thank you so much, Hera. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is evening in Indonesia. I am Agita. I am a lawyer, a founder, and executive director at Bullyid app. But before starting this journey, beyond that, I'm also a survivor of harassment and cyber violence, a survivor of a system that for too long lacked the necessary support for those who need it the most. So when I returned to Indonesia back in 2019, I was confronted with a harsh reality that there was no confidential and reliable support system for victims of harassment, and many people suffering in silence had no trusted resources to turn to. And in this digital era where online harassment has become just as damaging as real-world violence, the gaps in protection even wider. So if you go to the next slide, please. That Indonesia is a home for 185 million internet users. And yet with this rapid digital adoption, we are witnessing an alarming rise in online harassment. And since COVID-19, cases of online abuse have increased by 300%, with 78% of victims are not reporting their abuse, either because they do not trust the system, the fear of retaliation, or even believe that there is no action will be taken. And so beyond this, if we go to the next slide, They are a very specific cases that disproportionately affect women and marginalized communities in Indonesia, which our independent research back in 2020 revealed that NCII, which is non-consensual intimate image abuse, is one of the most pressing issues. In so many cases, perpetrators psychologically manipulate victims into sending intimate content to record, which is then monetized and followed by online threats, and there's a deepfake pornography. And the fact is that 90.9% of victims were forced by their own partners to send intimate images through gaming or online dating platform. And this is why Bullyid app exists, to really fill the gap that traditional legal and institutional frameworks have left behind by providing confidential survivor-led support and intervention. So if you go to the next one, I'm sharing to you the 3 core principles that we have, which is the protection, prevention, and partnership. So protections in terms of providing support to survivors, which is immediately confidential and accessible. The prevention is to provide awareness and training, and the partnership is to collaborate with institutions, schools, to establish a safe reporting mechanism and advocacy programs. One of the advocacy that we did and contributed to the successful passage of the sexual violence crime law by the Indonesian Parliament on 2022 after a decade of deliberation. So through these principles, we have built an ecosystem support, which I'm going to share as well to the next slide. The first one is a psychological and legal support, where survivors can connect with certified psychologists and legal professionals directly through the app. There's also a reporting platform, which is through the platform we help the escalation to remove the intimate image content that is shared without the consent on online platform, which we currently have connection with Meta and TikTok. The next one is AI-powered relationship health check. So we realize that many victims do not realize they are in toxic or abusive relationship, and our chatbot provides interactive assessment to help users recognize red flags and abuse. The next one is case management platform, which is recognizing that many schools, universities lack of confidential structured reporting platforms. So we develop a secure case management platform for them to be able to use. And obviously the public awareness and advocacy. So this is beyond individual support. We drive nationwide awareness offline and online. So let me walk you through the app features from the user interface. If you go to the next one, please. So unlike the hotline center, our aim is to be trustable platform. And in my country, Indonesia, to be trustable is to be known. So we currently have 92 licensed psychologists and lawyers in our app that users can see their profile, their professional background, the license numbers, and our counseling and legal support features allow you survivors to connect with professionals that they chose, and in a fully encrypted environment, and ensuring the privacy and safety. So users can remain anonymous, ensuring that their identity is never compromised while seeking for help. We also integrate with a chat-based audio and video counseling, so they can choose within those 3 options directly through the app without a need to switch for another third party to ensure the user data privacy. The next one, we have the reporting platform. So if you go to the next slide. See, the reporting platform is allowing users to file the report securely, either as an individual or through affiliated institutions. So users can select specific categories of abuse, including workplace harassment, cyber harassment. And once it's submitted, reports are encrypted and managed through a secure case management platform, ensuring confidentiality of the survivors. And they're also able to track their cases. And next one is the case management platform. So if you go to the next slide, one of the features that mentioned earlier, which is allow our institutional partners to manage the report efficiently with built-in follow-up features. That is a smart notification and comprehensive report management system. So the partner can take immediate action while keeping the survivor's privacy in a top of priority. The idea of this platform is to establish a safe, anonymous, and efficient reporting mechanism within institutions and organizations. So survivors can seek help without the fear of retaliation, while still enabling the institution to be able to take a meaningful action within their own institution. We have already partnered with major universities and organizations to implement this system. The next one that we have also is an AI-powered relationship health check chatbot. To the next slide. This chatbot is basically to allow users to self-assess their relationship dynamics through structure metrics. So by answering a series of questions, users can receive a real-time insight into whether a relationship exhibits signs of coercion, manipulation, or digital abuse. So this is not just an awareness, but it's also an early intervention mechanism that equip users with the knowledge to recognize and escape toxic relationship. Next one. But I think beyond all of those things, we still committed to changing the narrative on digital safety through public awareness campaign, schools, corporate training, and advocacy efforts. And we are glad and grateful our work has been featured by major media outlets, including CNN, Deutsche Welle, NASDAQ, and many others. Next one, please. But for us, in the end of the day, I think impact isn't just about the numbers. It's about life transformed, institutional, strengthened, and communities also made safer. Our journey started in Indonesia, but our mission has reached far beyond borders. Today, we are serving over 2 million Indonesians worldwide, ensuring that survivors, no matter where they are, have access to confidential survivor-led support. And as you can see from the map, by utilizing technology, we are able to support Indonesians who are working or studying abroad as well. And our advocacy and digital engagement have created a global ripple effect with 25,000 daily online interactions. And at least once in a month, we also receive a request from survivors from different countries to seek help from our platform. And next one. So despite those progressive we've made, I think tackling online gender-based violence come with very significant challenges. So I'm not just talking about what we've done, but I wanted to be transparent that we know internet has no border. And the first challenge that we have is a cross-border jurisdiction. Many of online gender-based violence cases involve perpetrator and victims in different countries, and we have limitations. Legal frameworks are not aligned globally. A lack of international cooperation means also that investigation and prosecutions are difficult and even impossible. And so this is leaving survivors without justice and perpetrators without accountability. Another one we have is an online platform accountability. So social media, gaming, dating platform often fail to moderate harmful content and allowing harassment and deepfake pornography in their platform. And lastly, I think with many people also experiencing at this current stages of funding and sustainability remains a key issue for us. The fight for online violence requires continuous funding. Yet government support remains unavailable and private sector involvement is very limited. Many of our corporate social responsibility overlook harassment prevention and leaving the survivors-led initiative struggling for resources. So as we conclude the next one, I really want to emphasize that while technology has given us so much tools to create safer digital spaces, but we cannot really do this alone. There are several ways that you can support us. You can become our supporter, that we can continue delivering our impact at scale. You can also help us to amplify our resources, making sure that people know. And most of, I think media is also very, very important. So as a private company, we welcome the partnership that aligns with our missions. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was really inspiring, and it's great to see like just the sort of the breadth of impact that you've had.